You ever get hit with a moment so devastating it rewires your entire brain? Like one day you think you're living the dream, and the next you realize it's been a nightmare all along and you were just sleepwalking through it? That was me, standing in my kitchen, shaking, staring at my phone like it was a bomb about to explode. Because that's how I found out. My husband, my Jason, had chosen someone else over me, his mistress. And not just any mistress, someone who had been around forever, someone I thought was my friend. By the way, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? I love seeing where all of you are tuning in from. I'm Mia, and this is the story of how I got my revenge. We'd been married almost 10 years. 10 years of anniversaries, promises, and late-night talks. We had a house that felt like home, 2 golden retrievers who thought I was their mom, and the baby girl who lit up our lives. Or so I thought. For months before I discovered the affair, things felt off. Jason came home late, smelled like perfume that wasn't mine, and started guarding his phone like it was a state secret. But here's what's wild. He was still kind to me in public. Warm smiles, loving touches, the perfect husband act. The kind of act that fools everyone. I was stressed with the baby and my new job, so I blamed myself. Thought maybe I was boring, not enough. Maybe I let myself go. God knows I hated how I looked after pregnancy. But the day I found the texts from S, that changed everything. I sat on the floor, phone in hand, trembling as I read messages like, "Can't wait to feel your hands on me," and "Our secret's safe." That's when the world shattered. I was numb for a week. I barely ate, barely slept. I watched Jason closely, waiting for him to confess, apologize, to beg me to forgive him. But he never did. Instead, he pulled away more. I tried talking to him, crying, threatening. Nothing worked. Then one night, I caught him sneaking out. I followed him to a hotel downtown. And there they were, Jason and S. Laughing, holding hands, wrapped up in a private bubble of lies. I wanted to scream, to rip them apart, but I held back. Because I knew I needed more. See, revenge isn't just about getting even. It's about reclaiming your power. I started quietly, recorded phone calls where he admitted everything, tracked credit card statements showing secret gifts, got my private investigator to snap photos of them on dates. I was building a case. Not just for myself, but for my daughter. Then the biggest blow. At a work party, I overheard S bragging to friends about finally stealing him from that boring wife. She didn't know I was listening. So, I sent screenshots anonymously to Jason's entire office. The shock was delicious. Jason was furious at me, said I was destroying his career. Little did he know, he was the one who destroyed it. I went to our lawyer and told her everything. Jason had hidden money in offshore accounts, gifts to S charged to our joint credit cards, expensive dinners, flights, hotel rooms. I asked for full financial disclosure. He refused. That's when the war started. The custody battle. Jason claimed I was unstable, said I was a jealous, vindictive wife trying to poison our daughter against him. But I had evidence. Photos, videos, receipts, and the private investigator's testimony. I fought like a lioness for my daughter. And I won. But the best part? The house, the one Jason thought was ours to divide however he wanted. I showed the court his hidden assets, his secret transfers, his lies. Jason's jaw dropped. But I didn't stop there. I started my own business, something I dreamed of but put off for years. It flourished. One day, out of nowhere, Jason called me. His voice cracked. He said he wanted to meet. I almost said no, but I wanted answers. So we met at a quiet cafe 2 months ago. He told me S had dumped him, called him controlling and possessive. He begged for forgiveness, said he'd made mistakes, that he wanted me back. I laughed. Then I showed him the text messages I'd gotten last week from S. She was engaged to someone else. And the texts? They were mocking him. That's when I realized Jason's love life is a mess because he never respected anyone. Not me, not S. not even himself. Now, I'm happier than I've ever been. Stronger, more independent. Jason is just a chapter I closed. And here's the real revenge. I'm living my best life while he's stuck in his own drama. But here's something I haven't told you yet. During the custody trial, I uncovered something else. Jason had been secretly trying to sabotage my work. He'd called my clients, spread rumors, told them I was unstable, unreliable. One client, my biggest one, nearly pulled their contract. I was terrified, but I fought harder, because this wasn't just about me anymore. It was about my daughter's future. There was also a moment, late one night, when I got a mysterious package at my door. Inside was a single key. No note. I called the police. Turned out, it was for a storage unit rented in Jason's name. I went with the detective. Inside, I found dozens of photos of me taken secretly. In the park, at the grocery store, even from inside my own home. Creepy, right? But it got worse. There were also letters, love notes Jason had written to S, but in one of the notes, he mentioned plans to move S in with us, to force me out. I showed the police. They opened a stalking case. That was the last straw. I realized Jason wasn't just cheating. He was trying to erase me. But I didn't let him. You know, after everything, the betrayal, the court battles, the public fallout, I thought the worst was behind me, that I could finally breathe and start rebuilding the life I'd always dreamed. But life, as it loves to remind us, isn't a straight line. It throws curveballs. Months after the custody ruling, just when I'd settled into my new routine, running my business, raising my daughter, living independently, I got a call that shook me again. It was from Jason's lawyer. They wanted to renegotiate visitation rights. At first, I thought, okay, fair enough. Maybe he's trying to do the right thing now. Maybe he realized what he lost. But nope. Turns out, Jason wasn't just trying to see his daughter. He was trying to control me all over again. One night, I found a note slipped under my door. No signature, just a message, "You think you're winning, but this isn't over." I called the police again, reported it as harassment. At this point, I wasn't scared. I was furious. Here's where it gets juicier. Remember S, the mistress? She wasn't as perfect as Jason painted her to be. After their breakup, I started hearing whispers, through mutual acquaintances, through online forums, about how controlling and toxic she was. She'd been manipulating Jason just as much as he manipulated me. One late night, I even got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was S. She wanted to meet. I almost didn't go, but curiosity, and maybe a bit of twisted solidarity, won out. We met at a quiet cafe, just like I had with Jason. And what she told me shocked me. She said Jason's charm was a mask. Behind closed doors, he was jealous, paranoid, even violent. She said she left him not because she stopped loving him, but because she finally saw how dangerous he was. It was the first time I realized I wasn't the only one he'd hurt. That meeting gave me strength. It also gave me information. Together, S and I uncovered messages Jason had hidden, threats, lies, attempts to pit us against each other. We decided to pool what we knew and take it to my lawyer. Our combined evidence made his legal team scramble. Suddenly, Jason wasn't just fighting for visitation, he was fighting to keep his secrets buried. Meanwhile, my business was booming. I hired a publicist who helped me craft my story carefully so it inspired others but protected my privacy. I began speaking at women's empowerment events. I started a support group for women recovering from betrayal and abuse. And my daughter? She was thriving, smart, happy, surrounded by love. But life still had more surprises. One afternoon, I got an anonymous package in the mail. Inside was a flash drive. On it were videos. Video evidence of Jason engaging in some pretty shady behavior. Drug use, yelling matches with unknown women, suspicious meetings late at night. I showed everything to my lawyer and the police. This time, they took it seriously. Jason's reputation started crumbling even faster, and for the first time, I felt like real justice was within reach. Here's the thing about revenge. It's not always what you think. It's not just about payback or humiliation, it's about reclaiming your power and your peace. I still have scars. I still have days when the betrayal stings fresh, but I'm no longer defined by his choices. I'm defined by how I rose above them. So here I am, living proof that you can survive heartbreak, betrayal, and lies, and come out stronger on the other side. What would you have done if you were me?